Hi, this is Lowell Martin, and you're watching MCC Today, voted #1 talk show in my head 3 weeks in a row. On today's show, we have Valerie Bishop, Angie Carraway, and Joshua Maeda. It's something special. Tune in.
Find purpose and soar to new heights at Meridian Community College. Elevate your education through our 52 career technical programs and find the eagle in you. With tuition guarantee and university transfer programs, your education is within reach. Find potential with more than 30 campus clubs and organizations and let your eagle spirit thrive. Invest in your education and register today. Meridian Community College. Find your wings.
We are so lucky today. We have Miss Valerie Bishop and Miss Angie Carraway. How are y'all doing?
We're great. How are you?
We're doing great. We've all been here a million years.
Seems like it.
How long have you been at Meridian Community College?
This is my 13th year, I think it is, teaching full-time. I taught adjunct for a little while before that, but this is, I think, my 13th
lucky
year.
13.
Lucky 13.
Lucky 13.
That's
and
right.
Dr. Carraway?
I'm finishing my 22nd year.
I've been here longer than you?
You have.
I did not realize that. I thought you had been, okay, because we've all become just features of the college. But I'm so thrilled that y'all are here today, and you're here today to talk about a specific program, which is what?
We're going to talk today about the You Be the Chemist Challenge,
okay,
and some of the other programs that are associated with the You Be the Chemist program. It's specifically targeted at 5th through 8th graders,
okay,
middle schoolers. This is we just finished, I believe, our 4th or 5th year with the You Be the Chemist. We have had various middle schools and homeschoolers who have participated in the program. We just finished our regional competition on February the 20th.
And how did that go?
It went really well, I think. The format was very different this year.
Okay.
Previously, You Be the Chemist, the students were individually tested, and this year they went for group testing. So that was very good.
And
so
they were able to talk.
Yes.
Oh my
So they were very engaged.
Very engaged.
Did the groups work? Because sometimes, you know, you get group activities that just don't come together and don't work. Did these group activities worked well?
They did. It was pretty directed what they were supposed to be doing.
Okay.
They were still asked multiple choice questions via PowerPoint presentation. All the questions obviously were about chemistry, since this is You Be the Chemist competition.
What is the purpose of this? Why do we have the You Be the Chemist competition, and why do we want to target 5th through 8th graders?
Well, one of the reasons we have this particular competition is that there is a huge need in our society for engineers, chemists, all people who have STEM-related professions.
Okay.
So we hear that acronym STEM.
What is STEM?
STEM is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
Okay.
And sometimes we throw an A in there for art as well and call it STEAM, but this particular group is focused more on the STEM aspect. Probably 10, 15 years ago, some very forward-thinking individuals, especially with the American Chemical Distributors Association and some of the major chemical companies like Dow Chemical and BASF, saw that in the near future there was going to be a huge need for more chemists, for more chemical engineers to help with this huge industry that we have here in the United States that's based on chemistry, pharmaceuticals, and all kinds of things.
Our modern society is based on chemistry, and yes, the need is great.
Chemistry and technology and a lot of just everyday things that we use that we don't even think about are chemistry related. So
I think all the time that I would not have made a good pioneer. I'm just, you know, and I look at these old movies, I'm like, no, I don't think I would.
To be creative enough to survive in the wilderness and be on that wagon train.
If I had to make my own fire or kill my own, no.
Probably most of us wouldn't do very well with that.
No.
Right.
But how do you get the students involved in the You Be a Chemist? You said we have the local schools in the Lauderdale County and the Meridian Public Schools, but how do we get them engaged and involved?
Well, Dr. Carraway can tell you a little bit more about that. She works with that particular aspect of it a lot more than I have.
Well, basically, we've just reached out with our contacts to local middle schools. We have reached out to our school systems and to the individual private schools and the home schools. We also have tried to spread the word beyond Lauderdale County, because this is not a Meridian Community College program for MCC students. This is middle school, and so we've tried to let those outside of our county, just through our networking, know that they are welcome as well. But we just beat the bushes with trying to get the information to our local schools and teachers. And Lauderdale County and Meridian Public have been very helpful in that their science curriculum coordinators, I'm not sure of the correct title, have been very gracious to disseminate the information and to encourage participation from their districts.
Well, now, do you have to go through the schools to be involved in this? Or do you have to go through the county and city schools to be involved in it?
Or through a homeschool association.
Yes.
Yes,
And
it goes through the
established
schools.
school.
When is the next You Be the Chemist event? Is there
Well, the next big You Be the Chemist event will be the national competition. This year it will be held in Houston, Texas, and it'll be at June. It's usually around the 20-something of June. I can't remember the exact date with that.
Will y'all be involved in that?
Not necessarily. We would like to go, but we'll just have to see if we're invited. And Dr. Carraway has served on the National Question Committee and helping to develop the questions and stuff. So we really hope that she'll be able to go this year.
How do we get young people involved in science? And I know we're talking about 5th to 8th graders, but how do you get even younger people involved in science where they're curious about what's going on and they want to know? Yes, ma'am.
So for me, a personal story, it started with my mother. I can remember the very first memory that I have that I would say is directly associated with science came from my mother, who I was about 5 or 6 years old, and she went to Meridian Public Library, checked out a book on science experiments, and came home and did some with me in our kitchen. And that sort of started things for me. So I would say there needs to be parental involvement or the involvement of a significant older person, whether it doesn't have to be an older elementary student, but someone who fosters that child. Valerie works with Boys and Girls Club, and she does some similar types of things.
Do you go in and show experiments and things like that?
Well, actually, what I do with Boys and Girls Club is more of a Bible study activity. But when we work in science, I'm the go-to person for that, because we sometimes work in different kinds of demonstrations and models and that have an application in both worlds. And the kids always love that. We did a disappearing ink type of thing a few weeks ago, and they were just like, whoa, amazing. How do we get younger people involved? Especially, I think they automatically come involved when they're little and they ask a million questions all the time. That we just need to continue encouraging them to ask those questions and then be willing to follow through on how to help them figure out.
Yes, work with them to find the answer, show them where they can find the answer. But I've talked before on this program about how important the arts are, but math and science are also critically important. I've tried to push so often, and it bothers me so much, particularly with math, when I hear colleagues will say, oh, I don't do math, or I don't do science, or I don't do that. And I'm like, yes, you do.
Well, and
don't say that.
That is
we do. We all
point.
do.
We as a society need to get to the understanding that science and math is for everyone, and it's not hard.
It's not.
That first experiment that my mother did involved a drinking glass and a sink of water, and the explanation was in the book. It wasn't hard. And you know, even starting with 3-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 4-year-olds.
Because both of your children are very science and math oriented.
Yes, as is Valerie.
Your child is also science and math oriented.
Yes.
Mine, not so much.
But
I
that's
tried.
okay.
I really tried. But for some reason, I ended up being the math person in my family, and everyone else just kind of looked at me. You know,
we understand that feeling really well.
Where
We
did
actually
you
we
come
do.
from?
Yeah.
My mother still, she was like, I swear you're not mine. I swear. But it's so important to get them engaged and get them to know that these are interesting classes that they can take, and this is a great program that they can get involved in, and hopefully get into the sciences, get into the technology and all of that. Now we also have something else that y'all are involved in, I believe, that we were going to talk about.
Right, we're also involved with a program called NCOS, the NASA Community College Aerospace Scholars, and that is a program for college students.
Okay.
And we have hosted our first event in October, and we're looking forward to hosting another event in the near future. We've applied, and we're really interested in doing that.
And how do students get involved in that?
Students will apply through there's a specific website which we would be glad to distribute to anybody who is interested. And the students will apply. They take a 5-week online course that teaches them a little bit about NASA, but more importantly, it teaches them some skills, some thinking skills, reading skills, just preparing them for the big event, which is a robotics competition.
Yes.
Oh my. Oh my.
Yes.
One of the tutors in the Success Center works with NASA and their robotics, and oh my gosh, I tell them, I'm like, I would have that, I'd have t-shirts with that on it. You know, if I were working with NASA, it would be absolutely amazing. Well, listen, we're out of time, but please, I want you both to come back and let's talk about this NASA event coming up in the fall, and see if we can get some more information out there. But also this You Be the Chemist, very important to get students involved in.
And our cycle will start again in August or September.
Okay.
And so they'll have the opportunity for next academic year.
Okay. Thank y'all so much for being here.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Meridian Community College Arts and Letters Series is proud to present the MCC Gospel Choir. Join us for a night of spirituals, anthems, contemporary worship, and gospel music Sunday, April 5th in the McCain Theater on the MCC campus. The choir is under the direction of Reverend Scotty Cole, and the show is suitable for all ages. The show starts at 6 p.m. and admission is free. Don't miss out on this musical showcase.
Today we are very lucky to have Mr. Joshua Maeda on, and he is here to talk about our literary review magazine that has been away for a few years.
It's come back.
It has come back.
I hope to more cheers and tears, but it's come back.
And the name of it is?
It's the Apocalypse Literary Review.
Just out of curiosity, where did the name come from?
I'm glad you asked that. For years, it had been called the Literary Review, but going through our archives, I found that back in the 80s, it was called the Apocalypse.
Okay.
And I thought that was just such a fantastic name that I wanted to use that or bring back that title. My co-editor, Dr. Samantha Lay, suggested that we keep Literary Review just so as to let people know what it is, not confuse them. So we compromised, and it's now the Apocalypse Literary Review.
Now, you are an English teacher here at Meridian Community College, as is Dr. Lay, and you've been here a few years. What went through your mind when they came to you and said, hey, we want to bring back the Literary Review magazine? That is very difficult to say. Okay.
We can speak in code from here on out.
Okay.
Well, they may not have asked me to bring it back. I may have said I want it back.
Okay, because you teach creative writing.
I do.
As well. And that's just kind of a perfect, not segue, but it's a perfect, they go well together.
Right. It's a very appropriate blending. For me, because the divisions go beyond MCC students, we have high school division and well, community and MCC division. I get to read the works of students that are from people that I wouldn't normally encounter at MCC. And then for those MCC students who submit, I get to read material from them in a way that you wouldn't typically receive in a Comp 1 or Comp 2 class.
So when you say you receive, you read stuff, we have a literary contest.
Right. And
the contest, what are the different categories that we look for?
We have 3 categories. We have the short story category, the fiction, or excuse me, that is fiction, the essay category, and the poetry category.
Okay, so we have 3, and who are we aiming these towards? I mean, we have high school?
High school students, that is sophomore, junior, and senior, all MCC students, and the general community.
Okay, so anyone in the community can enter.
Yes.
Okay, and then this is once per year.
Once a
the
year.
literary review. Okay, and so we have the results of our literary contest.
We do.
Okay, and so tell us who won.
And I have to give out a mea culpa here. We've not had this for a few years, so having brought it back after a few years, I'm a little rusty, so letters have not been sent out, but they will go out very soon, so this is a great opportunity to go ahead and announce who's won.
Okay.
And
this is breaking news.
Breaking news, right. You've heard it here first.
Yes.
I'll just go ahead and mention names. Okay. You know who you are without specifying what category or division. Winners include Chloe Scott, Jacob Vance, Reagan Dias. We have Kyler Akira Deloach, if I mispronounced your name, forgive me, Katie Blansett, Axel Gavin, Edward Lynch, and our own Oriana Walker.
Okay. Now, what do they win?
They win money.
We like that.
Well, but more importantly, they win the esteem of their peers. But they also get money.
Okay, we like both of those. Okay. How much money are we talking?
Well, for those who have won first place, they are going to win $75 for their submission. Second place, $50, and third place, $25.
Okay.
Now, I won't say who. You'll find out as you get your letter. But we did have several winners who won in multiple categories. So you have a few checks coming.
Okay, that is good. Now, if they've won, they will be included in the Apocalypse Literary Review.
And I hope that we'll have an issue to celebrate later this semester. It will be published.
Okay.
And copies, of course, will be available here at MCC, but I also hope to spread the joy around town, the public library, and maybe various restaurants downtown.
Okay, so it will be actually published,
right.
So it will not be online?
Not this year. For future years, we're hoping to move in that direction, and I definitely want to take this time to sing the praises of Mr. Daniel Etheridge, our graphic design instructor, and his team. This is a really great collaboration that the Language and Literature department has with the graphic design department, and they're working hard at visually interpreting the submissions, so I look forward to seeing what they produce.
Well, as you're reading the submissions, what did you think of the talent in our area?
It's always encouraging, and I will say, just in case there are any questions, as an editor, I don't judge the categories, but I do read them, and it's always very encouraging because, as I hinted at earlier, teaching comp, I do get to see students' creativity shine through, but really with these submissions, I get to see their creativity in full force, and it's encouraging to know that people are still reading and writing and seem to even enjoy reading and writing.
What are your hopes for the future of the Apocalypse Literary Review under your guardianship?
Pulitzer, maybe.
Of course.
But until then, we hope to, as soon as next year, have have online submissions and to also have a digital copy that we can then distribute much more widely than an actual material copy.
Okay. Will we have any kind of celebration?
Yes, yes. And once again, mea culpa, we're still getting back into the swing of this. We do have a date. Okay. So without a doubt, God willing, it will be Thursday, April 23rd. Okay. Now we haven't determined a time yet, but it will be that Thursday afternoon. In years past, it's been between the 2 and 3 o'clock time slot, so I'm hoping we can reclaim that, but it will be Thursday, April 23rd. And the winners, you will receive letters very soon. I hope to get them out by the end of this week, so I hope that you will receive them sometime next week.
So if anyone is interested in learning more about it, how can they find out more information about the Literary Review magazine?
Well, until we have something a little more official set up web-wise, you can always contact me, Joshua Maeda, or you can contact Dr. Samantha Lay, and we're both available through the Meridian Community College Language and Literature Division website. Okay, so this will be published once a year. Yes. Usually in spring. Yes. Okay, and hopefully next year you'll start taking submissions. Right. Next year, I promise, we'll be much more organized, and you'll see submissions our submission letters much sooner than what we did this year. Okay. Well, listen, thank you so much for being with us. And I hope that we can get together right before you start accepting submissions again for next year. Right. Okay, thank you. Well, thank you. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for better health and fitness? Meridian Community College is offering wellness and fitness classes to students and the community. Located in our Damon Fitness Center, we offer classes such as swimming, yoga, weight training, spin, Zumba, and many more. Students can also receive academic credit for enrolling. For more information, call 601-484-8763. Find your wings at Meridian Community College.
Our students have been out and about, videotaping, doing things, learning things. We're trying to get bail money now. Help.
Hi, I'm John Knoll with MCC Today. A globe party was held in the Quave on the 14th. The event was hosted by Meridian Community College's own student government and had dancing, food, and of course, glow sticks. For more information, I talked to the student government advisor, Beth Cauldron.
Yeah, we're just trying to plan something fun and different for students to get more excited about homecoming. And so we had a DJ, which was Corey Moe, and he was really great. And it was from 8 to 11 in the Quave. We blacked it out and covered all the windows, had fun decorations, tons of glow sticks, and great food catered by the cafeteria actually, but it was delicious. And we had a fabulous turnout. I think we had over 175 students. Well, most students, some guests, but we were really excited about that. This was the first event that we've sponsored, and so we're really a new organization on campus, and so we're trying to get started, so we kind of thought about that as almost our coming out party, so to speak, to kind of get the word out about what we're doing. And in the future, you know, we'll be holding things like town hall meetings and things, and what the purpose of the student government is to serve as a link between students, faculty, staff, and administration. But, you know, too, we also want to try to host some other or foster some other fun activities on campus. And so this was the first thing that we did, and hopefully, you know, the first of many.
With MCC Today, I'm John Knoll.
This is Philip Moore, and today we are going to look at some art. There are several different types of paintings down here on the bottom floor of the Ivy Hall. They were constructed by the wonderful students in our art program. If you are interested in joining our art program, you should come check it out. This is Philip Moore with MCC Today.
On behalf of our executive producer, Matt Milner, our media consultant, Josh Taylor, and our student producer, Brittany Hogans, she's plural, thank you for watching.